Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your host with the most, King Gio, in the house. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about something that's very, 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 very interesting. Okay, a few months ago, or I would say a month ago, I have one of my viewers, right? And he said, "Yo, King Gio, go look at Jesse Lee Peterson's, YouTube. He's a good guy. He got this, he got that." And I'm like, all right, but I never went to him because I don't like following people. I don't like doing their thing. So I said, okay, whatever. Because he wanted to say, you could be the next Peterson, but Hispanic. I'm like, okay, this guy must be good then. But even with that, I still didn't go to this guy's YouTube channel. So then, the day before yesterday, I came across one of my a good friend of mine's husband's page, and he put an article on this Jesse Lee Peterson, right? And the interview that this man gave, not even an interview, the statement that this man gave is so misogynist. It is so antiquated. It is so, he looks like the guy he has self-hatred. He doesn't like women. I don't know how he has a Christian show on Sundays. Okay? But it demeans women. He was talking about the senator. I'm going to give you a brief. He was talking about a Senator Duffy, whose wife has 9 kids. And he is saying that Duffy has to step down of his job so she can either go to work or something like that. So he's degrading her. He's telling her that her job is to stay home, that her job is to take care of the kids, that the job of the man is to provide, and she stay at home because that's what God gave her. That she should feel proud that that's a gift that God gave her, to stay home, cook, clean. Antiquated stuff back for the 60s, 70s. These are Neanderthals ideas. Saying that women are not equal to men. That's what he's basically saying. And that the woman's place is in the kitchen, the woman's place is in a home. That he's literally taking like a passage from the Bible that says the man is the head and the woman's the tail. That's what he's basically saying. And that she is not above him. And then he's degrading the man, saying that he has 9 kids, that she has 9 kids, presumably by him. That kind of shit is that. But I want you to hear this misogynistic man talk. And it's disgusting. To me, it's disgusting. And I would never become anything like this. And I thought Howard Stern was bad, but this guy takes the cake. I want you to hear it. It's demeaning to women. And it's demeaning to us, man, that a man like this can talk about this. And later on, I'm going to go on to his life history. It's not the best thing in the world. So I don't know why people follow him, but everyone has his own, thing. So if you're a woman out there, don't listen to this man. This man is nothing but a pig. He's probably alone. Got no woman. Was 71 years old. He got nothing to do. Here we go.
His wife is having a 10th child. And as a result, I guess they did some type of test while the baby is still in the womb. And they found out that the baby has heart problems. And that apparently the baby's going to have surgery or something, whatever, to correct the problem. But this guy, Sean Duffy, is stepping down from his job because of that. Beta male! But that's not what takes the cake. What tastes the cake is that his wife, let me see his wife again, has 9 children. Let me see another picture of her. 9 children with him, apparently. And she's working.
So let me get this. So he's calling him a beta male. A beta male for doing what a man does, help out his wife. Apparently 9 kids are his. Apparently, could be someone else's. See, so he's telling us that our jobs is not to take care of our kids as men. That our jobs is just to work and provide. to work and provide. That's it. Nothing, nothing more, nothing less. And that is far from the truth. I mean, a job as a man is to be there with your woman, and your woman be with your man. Husband be the husband, and the wife be with the wife. That's what a relationship, that's what a marriage is all about. It's not just, you know what, your job is to be the kitchen, the house, while I work. No, that's not the way it works. You know, we live in an age that both should work in whatever they both like, and they both should encourage one another. They should feed on one another, and they should support one another. That's how a marriage works. That's the way a marriage should be. But when you have these people like this, who are back in the Fred Flintstones era, the bedrock era, oh, you gotta stay at work, you gotta stay at home, and you gotta do this. This is not the way. This is just his way, and there's more to this guy. This is not the first time this person has made remarks against women. It's not the first. That's why he probably doesn't have any women in the show, but it's not the first. And the woman he's talking about, the wife of Duffy, is a Fox News anchor. Her name is, let me get it for you guys here. His name is Sean Duffy. He's a representative. And she works. Her name is. She works for Fox News. Her name is Rachel Campbell Duffy. She works for Fox News. This was last year, by the way. It's kind of a year old, but still, to listen to this person say this, it's kind of rude. It degrades women. It degrades us men to have someone that age. But he doesn't represent me because he's 71 years old. You know, he probably doesn't get laid. So he's been shot down so many times in his life that his only way to defend himself is to degrade women and say that they're this and they're that. You know, because when you get shot down so many times, that's the only way you can defend yourself. Because trust me, if he would have gotten a lot of women, he wouldn't be like that.
One of the Fox News commentators or something like that. And so my question is, what kind of a woman would be married to a man who can provide? Because this man is a congressperson, I believe. He can provide for the family. Why does she have to work? Why doesn't she stay home, be a wife, a mother, and help raise the children? And now this guy has to step down because this baby apparently has some issues according to what's being reported. My thing is, the man need to continue working. The woman can stay home and deal with whatever issues that need to be done. The man can help out, inform, or whatever he needs to do, but he shouldn't quit his job for that. I guarantee you she's making him do it. This woman is a selfish, egotistical woman. And this man is too beta male to make her do the right thing. And now he's stepping down from his job like a little beta male. This woman is a selfish woman. 9 kids, she's trying to be like a man. I want to be seen by the world as a worker. She's such a working woman. Women, God has given you the gift to be the assistant of the man, to watch over his children, to make sure things are well at home, to be there when the kids come home, to cook, clean, provide in that way. There's no greater job for a woman than that. And I don't know why.
Did you hear that? Provide, do this, do that. There's no greater job for a woman than that. Is this guy really stupid? I mean, I read his bio, and he was raised by his grandparents in a plantation farm, I don't know, somewhere. And I guess his grandparents must be great, you know, and they raised him great. But somewhere along the line, this guy went fishing. He didn't get laid very often. But to say that, that's so antiquated. To say that it's so racist in a way, you know, that's a gift. To stay home, wash clothes, do this, do that. That he should go there. So his wife is having a kid. The ultrasound comes out and says that this child might or might not come out with some form of deformity or whatever. So he wants to stay home. He wants to provide. He wants to be there for his wife. He wants their support because it's not easy. When you find out that the child that you're going to have is going to come from, is going to come home when she gives birth and it's going to come with some form of deformity or lack of or something. You're not going to stay home as a man. You're not going to stay home at work. You're not going to stay at work and just come and talk to your wife once in a while about the situation. No, you take time off your job. You sit down with your wife. You discuss what the problem the doctor says might be. You discuss it, how you're going to deal with it. Or, you prepare yourself mentally. And that takes time. You can't do that by working here and then coming back home, giving her just an hour or two of your time, and then go and do what you got to do so that you prepare yourself the next day to go to work. Because she's a senator, he has a lot on his plate. So no, his view on this is so idiotic. And I don't understand how could he even say that? Beta male? No, he's the beta male. He's not even a beta male. He's not even a male, period. Little old man, 71 years old. I just can't believe it that he would say something so stupid. He comes from a woman. A woman made him. I guess he's mad at his mom. I'm not sure. He's mad at somebody. And it's a woman. Trust me. And it's a woman. I don't know who it is, but it's a woman. To say some stupid stuff like that women should be happy. An assistant. He called the woman an assistant to a man. If he knew anything from the Bible would know a man will leave his house and be with a woman, and a woman will leave her house, and be a man. And together they'll be one. And together they will be one. All right. So if God calls upon women to preach, because God can call upon anyone, He can call a child to preach. If God can do that, and God touched the heart of a woman to preach in a podium in a church, that's her job. God gave her that job. God said, I want you to preach the word of God. I want you to preach the word. I want you to preach the word of my son. I want you to preach the gospel. God gave you that. There's no one in any church can say, oh no, a woman is not allowed on the podium. No, it's not. That's just misogynist. That right there should not be allowed. And there's a lot of churches, Jehovah Witnesses don't let women talk on the podium. Catholics don't let women talk because they're nuns. They can't become priests. It's just all that male. That a woman can't do this, that a woman can't do that. No, a woman can do the same thing a man can do. But in this case, the man Duffy, Representative Sean Duffy, took time off his job so he can be with his wife, so they can talk to each other. So they can say, "Baby, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna take care of the baby? You look up what the child might and might not have. You look it up so you can confirm. You can see what's coming or prepare yourself to see what is coming. Right? You don't want to get caught offhand like back in the 90s, back in the 80s, 70s when you didn't know. These tests didn't exist. These genetic tests didn't exist. You didn't want to know. You just get caught with spina bifida or whatever. You don't know. So let's continue with this guy because this guy, he is ridiculous.
Why these men would marry these women if they don't have that mindset? It's like being married to another man. It's selfishness. It's not love. And she's all grinning because she has control over him. He's a beta male. So, Sean Duffy, Representative Duffy, you are a beta male. That's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. It's sad for the children. 9 children, you need to be home.
You need to be home.
You need to be a provider to be a delight for your family. And she's stroking him because he's so nice. He quitted his job. He gonna be that. Why don't you quit your job, woman? You got 9 kids. You need to be home, and now you're about to have 10. Men, you need to come back to your proper state of being, so God can give you the right kind of woman to marry. These are not. I wouldn't recommend you marry these educated women with these degrees, and they don't make for good wives and mothers. They do not.
You're right. You heard that, right? Women with good... You should not marry a woman that has a good degree and who are educated. Guys, do not marry a woman who's educated or have a good degree. What kind of bullshit is that? So that means it must have been that he must have been with someone that was way far more intelligent than he is, because you can tell that he's not that intelligent. He only did 1 year in college, and that's Los Angeles Community College, probably 1 year. So you know that he wasn't that bright. That he wasn't that bright. He only did 1 year, for whatever reason he was. But to say that a woman, that we should not be with an educated woman who has degrees, come on. I think that's one of the proudest things that should be, that your woman is educated, that your woman does have a degree. I mean, not every woman is educated, not every person is educated. Not, you know, educated can mean a lot of things. Just doesn't mean that you graduated high school, that you graduated college. That does not mean educated. You can be educated from the streets. You can be educated in etiquette. You can be educated in family matters. You know, you can be educated in etiquette. There's a lot of ways to be educated. But the way he's trying to be saying is that they're educated from school. There's nothing wrong with having a smart woman. There's nothing wrong with having a woman with a degree. I think I think, to me, is very important. You know, I find that to be a plus in a woman, because in my view, I'll be able to have a civil conversation with this woman. I'll be able to have, we may not have everything in common, which is great, but I don't want to have everything in common. But we can have a civilized conversation. You know, we can agree to disagree. So and also the woman who does not have an education but is educated in another matter that I may not know of, and that woman can teach me. You know, this woman could have 5 kids, and I'm in a relationship with her, and she's teaching me. And I don't have no kids. She's teaching me, you know, how she brought up these kids, what these kids like, and you learn from that. So that's an educated woman. You know, she's raising her kids by her own. That's educated. You know, not in the sense that he's trying to put, you know, that you have to go to school, you have to have a degree. No, but education comes in different forms. So an educated woman, a smart woman, with or without a degree, is a good woman. Trust me. So I don't know what this idiot says. Oh, God, you know, these are not words that God would put in your mouth. These are not thoughts that God would put in your head. These are misogynistic thoughts by a man that probably has not seen Poontang in years. He probably forgot what a Poontang really is, right?
They're ego-driven.
Ego-driven. They're ego-driven. Ego-driven. That's what he says. This is what these women are. I think this man's truly a pig, bro. I mean, I thought Howard Stern was bad, but I listened to Howard Stern, and Howard Stern was never like that. I mean, he'll joke. Okay. So let's go into more of a in depth of this man. He was born in 1949, so you know he came to Christopher Columbus, and Columbus just left him here. He's born from Midway, Alabama. He's a Republican. Okay. In his early life, he was from Midway, Alabama. He was raised by his grandparents, God bless them, in a plantation where his great-grandparents had been enslaved in centuries earlier. His grandmother and father moved to Gary, Indiana, and the East Coast of Indiana, respectively, where they separately started new families of their own. So that means he was raised by his mom. They both separated and they left him alone. That can make an effect on somebody. He was born with a cleft palate that was repaired until his teens, Gary, teenage again. His political involvement. Let's go here. Peter started his own janitorial service in 1989. In 1990, he founded Bond, Brotherhood Organization of New Destiny, later registered as a non-profit religious group geared towards young black men. In 1990, Peterson appeared on the Phil Donahue Show. Anyone that was born before the 90s should know who Phil Donahue was. And Gerardo Rivera, daytime talk show. Both features Shahrazad Ali, a controversial author of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Someone actually really wrote that. A book strongly criticized as sexist, you can tell by the title, unscientific and riddled with stereotype. In video recordings of episodes, Peterson is heard defending Ali's book, stating that black single mothers are out of order. That black single mothers are out of order in raising their children without their father. Now, let me say something. There's also Candace Owens is another one who goes through this route. And she talks about a lot of black women who are raising their kids without their fathers. Okay, now let me tell you something. This has nothing to do with anything. There are white women who raise their kids without their father. There are Hispanic women who raise their kids with their fathers. Sometimes a woman makes some mistakes and goes in bed and sleeps with the wrong guy. And that man is not the person that you thought was going to be. When you did that, you probably didn't think, the woman didn't think that she was going to get pregnant. She got pregnant, and the guy left. Okay? So she's forced to take care of the kid alone. That in itself is pride. That you have to give kudos to. That you have to say to yourself, that's a strong woman. That's a strong black woman. That's a strong sister. That's a strong Latina woman. That's a strong white woman. That's a strong Chinese woman. You know, Asian, whatever. That's how you do it. You don't say they destroy they're out of water raising children without the father. Peterson claims that mothers destroy their children by speaking ill of the fathers. Okay, when I was married, I never spoke bad about my baby's mother. I'm not like that. The same thing goes both ways. Mothers speak bad about their fathers, and fathers speak bad about their mothers. So that has no bearing at all whatsoever. You know, these guys are stupid. Because his father, speaking ill of the fathers, Peterson states that the man is the head of the wife, and that without men leading, women and children go out of control, and young men grow up angry and insecure. Now, I'm a firm believer that a child needs both their parents in their lives. Okay? Because there are certain things that a man can do that a woman cannot do. There are certain things that a woman can do that a man cannot do. If those two people, or those two individuals, mother and father, cannot be together for whatever reason that it is, and then they should have an amicable relationship between mother and father, so that the child can have a safe environment when he visits pop and when he visits mom. If he stay with mom, when he visits pop. And pop shouldn't talk bad about mom, mom shouldn't talk bad about pop. But if you can have that, the child is going to grow up great. Because maybe a child, when they're young, they don't understand why mommy and daddy separated. But when they get older, you can tell them why they're separated. Things just didn't work out. Things sometimes don't work out. We tried it and it didn't work out. But that doesn't mean that we don't love you. Just because we separated doesn't mean we love you. We just don't have a connection anymore, mommy and I don't. But we still love you. You know, so those kind of things that you do, you just don't separate it, you know. So this is what this idiot's trying to say. Okay? And he said that the man is the head of the house. No, the man is not the head of the house. Okay? They both are, because both men and women, when you get married, they both have the same say. At my house, before I do anything, I talk to my wife. Not because I want to do this. No, because she married me. And as she married me, and the Bible says that when a man takes a woman and a woman takes a man, they become one. So she's my one. Okay? So I have to talk to her about certain things. I have to talk to her about certain. I mean, if it's me personally, I'm buying a shoe, no. But when it comes to the kids, when it comes to things in the house, certain things, I mean, a lot of things, I talk with her, because that's you communicate with your wife. You don't keep her out of things because you think she's lesser than you because you're the head of the house. No. You don't, like as a father, you don't tell your kids, men don't cry. You know, you don't do that. Oh, you know, men are head of the household. No, you don't do that. That's why a lot of men beat their women up, because of thinkings like that their parents taught them, like this idiot right here. Okay? That is wrong. That's why you have a lot of bullying. That's why you have a lot of men that beat their women because, oh, my dad said it's boom, shut up, bitch. No. You're supposed to teach your child that when you're in a relationship, both of you are equal, especially when you're married. When you're married. I'm not too keen on, the boyfriend and girlfriend thing. You are, yeah, okay, fine. But when you're married, you're both equal. Equal in the sense that you both make decisions. And in a relationship, too, as a boyfriend and girlfriend, you have to make decisions. If you're living together, of course. Because after you become boyfriend and girlfriend, the next step that you want to do is that, hopefully you want to get married, right? So, to say that the man's the head and to say the man's the head, the woman's the tail, no, that's not the way it goes. This is a very wrong way to put a woman. It's a wrong way for you to perceive women. And also, if anyone is watching me, if you're watching me and you're raising your child, if you are a single dad, Because I was a single dad for 10 years, no, 11 years. All right. I took care of my baby since she was born because my baby's mama left. So I raised my daughter until she was 11 years old. I've never, ever talked bad about her mom, which your mom is a bitch. But I don't say that. But now she's 19, so she knows that I'm wrong. All right. Never said anything bad about her. I never talked bad about her. I never said anything remotely, the things she used to do. Because it's not my story to tell. And my daughter did ask, Mom, Dad, why did Mom left? Did I do something to her? The questions that I didn't know the answer to, that I said, baby, she left because, she had things to do, but you got me. I'm here, I'm never going to leave you. And I never did. Mind you, I was an alcoholic, bro, and I took care of my child. I never missed a recital. I never missed one of her plays. I never missed one of her field days. None of that. I never missed that. Never missed that. But here you come, like he says, beta male, under that presumption that the man has to take care of his woman. My father, when I got married a few years ago, my father was already retired, and I asked him to come visit me, come to my wedding. He said no, because he had to go to work. And I was like, work? You're retired. You're a security guard. You can't miss one day of work, which is like $40 to come see your son get married? Oh, no, I can't. They're not going to give me a break. I'm like, yo, whatever. My stepfather was dead. He's my dad, and that's what matters to me. Okay? So he had that level of thinking that I'm the man of the house. I'm going to do things my way. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home and I provide. No. If you have a woman and a wife, they both should provide. Because it makes a woman feel worth, that she's doing something. You don't want to a woman doesn't want to go into a relationship and say, oh, he's a provider. But some women do, because some women are lazy. Oh, let him do all the work. I stay home. I'm on the computer, I'll be on the phone. I take his credit card. But that's not a woman. Okay. So for him to say something like that is really degrading to a woman. It's really degrading to me as a man. He says, Peterson states that the man is the head, in quotation, that's what he said, of his wife, and without man leading, women and children go out of control. And young men grow up angry and insecure. Inspirational speaker Liana Van Sant also appeared on the Gerardo episode, condemning Ali's book as anti-African, stating that the book contains no love and saying that the African woman is the most loving force on earth. Okay? And then let's see what it says here. Okay, here I got it. It says here, in August 2002, Peterson participated in a debate with Michael Eric Dyson, author and professor at the University of Pennsylvania, on the case against reparations for African Americans, held at the annual convention of the National Association of Black Journalists. Peterson alleges that black journalists in attendance jeered him and called him the white man's boy. Well, that's what basically he looks like. The white man's boy. After the debate, Dyson wrote in his weekly column of the Chicago Sun-Times that Peterson is a self-hating black man who despises black culture and worships at the altar of whiteness. That sounds like that seems like correct. So he has problem with Jesse Jackson, with Reverend Jesse Jackson. He tried to sue Jesse Jackson for civil rights, and he lost that. He sued Jesse Jackson's son for assault, that he lost. It says in June 2010, Peterson was asked by the Los Angeles sheriffs to leave the hall after he loudly protested the vote on the county supervisors, Mark Ridley Thomas. The LA County Board of Supervisors voted 3-2 to join an economic boycott against the state of Arizona for its controversial immigration law, which many fear that would increase racial and ethnic profiling of Latino American. In July 2011, Peterson had a small Tea Party protest outside the NAACP convention in Los Angeles. He stated that the NAACP is no different than the KKK. Not really that. Here we are, a group of white folks dressed up in white, has a leader by the name of David Duke, right, who goes out on the streets, who burn crosses to people's lawn, who is with white supremacy, and he dares to call the NAACP he compares the NAACP, who are men and women who are attorneys to defend the rights of the black community, and he calls that the same. When have you seen a KKK defend you in court as a lawyer? KKK has been nothing but racist, and they anti-white. A racist clan, that's what it is. They're a clan, they're a sect of sick people who think that the white race is the only race in the world, that if you're in white and blonde and blue eyes or whatever the case may be, you're not down with them. And that's something not to be proud of. That's something not to be proud of. And then he said that the NAACP is no different than the KKK in that the KKK harm black Americans by their physical bodies, but the NAACP steals their hearts and minds and souls. And that they kill black Americans by making black Americans or causing black Americans to hate their country, to hate what's right, to depend on the government rather than depending on themselves. That is total conservatism. That is total from the right wing. To say that the NAACP holds these people down, it's kind of idiotic. It really is. It's really idiotic the way this man thinks. This man is black, bro. That's the sad part. And then in October 2016, Peterson held a press conference and sparingly attended protests outside Attorney Gloria Alford's Los Angeles office, criticizing her for representing a woman who accused Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump of sexual assault. Peterson said, and I quote, "My beef with Gloria Alford is she digs these women up and she used them in order to destroy the Republican candidate. She's a hypocrite and a liar. She just wanted to stop Donald Trump, and he's using these women for that purpose only." So all those women that accuse Donald Trump of fondling them and doing this kind of thing, that's all not true. Him paying this woman off as prostitute, he paid her $100,000, that's not true, right? But he's paying money for something that's not true. Okay. And then it says, Donald Trump sexual harassment. She just wants to stop Donald Trump and using these women. Alfred released a statement to ABC7. "This is not an issue of whether a man is a Republican or Democrat," Alfred said. "It is an issue of respect of women and women's right to be free of sexual assault and sexual harassment," which it is true. He also says that the ACLU is un-American, that illegals should be shipped back to their countries. Political views. Look what he said. Peterson has described on many occasions what he perceives as the Atlantic slave trade, a positive aspect. Now, people, I'm going to read this. Look at the mentality of this idiot. Look at the mentality of this idiot. This goes beyond idiocy. He says, Peterson, look, okay. Let me read this from the top. This is interesting. Peterson has described on many occasions what he perceives as the Atlantic slave trade positive aspect. I've often said that, thank God, quote unquote, for slavery, because had not then the blacks over here would have been stuck in Africa. So, if I'm not mistaken, when the Europeans went to Africa, Africans were selling their own people. They were slaves in Africa. Maybe perhaps they got treated different when they came to America, but they were still slaves in Africa. Now, this man is an idiot. Then he says, everybody and their mama are trying to get out of Africa and come to America. And so God has a way of looking out for folks, and he made it possible with a way of slavery to get black folks into this country. I thank God that he got me here, and to show my appreciation to the black who suffered as a result of coming here, and Arabs and blacks who sold us to the white man for going there and getting us, bringing us here. I want to say thanks. So this is a man that says that black slavery was good because they brought people from Africa. But he didn't say that those black slaves from Africa, what they suffered coming from Africa over here, what they suffered on that ship, the whips that they got, the meals that they didn't get, the humiliation that they got, the women who were raped, just to get here to the United States, to be owned by white men, to be told what to do, to have no say in anything. You can only be spoken to. If not, you beat the shit out of you or they kill you. You want to say thank to God for that? Are you ashamed of yourself? God's not that type of God. God took his people out of Egypt because of that. You are the most moronic man that I've ever met. And I thank God that the person who told me to try to follow you and be a Hispanic, you must be crazy. I can never be anything like that. I'm better than you. And look what he says here. This is just people. You guys follow this idiot. In January 2020, and this is all, you can Google this up. I'm not making this up. In January 2012, interview with Huffington's Post, Black Voices, Peterson said about black people, unemployment in the United States. One of the things that I would do is take all black people back to the South and put them on a plantation so they would understand the ethic of working. I'm not going to put them all on the plantation. They need good, hard work education on what it is to work. So he wants to take civilization, take it back 200 years or 400 years, take it back. So you can have a black man working in a plantation so that black men can learn how to work. Black men already know how to work. I mean, from what I've seen here and from what I read here, this man basically has never worked a day in his life, because all he does is either he's making controversy, or he's doing controversy, or he's writing, or he's on YouTube, or he's doing this. He's never been to a 9-to-5 job, I don't think. Never worked in a factory. Never worked in a sawmill. Never worked somewhere making paints in a factory. So he doesn't know. How does he know? You know, it's unfortunate that unemployment for black people is high, and for Hispanics, you know, this is called racism out there. There's a lot of things, not just one. Then he said in a 2018 interview with Yahoo News, he stated that Democratic plantation really is worse than the plantation I grew up on. We were not told about so-called racism. We worked hard. My grandparents worked hard, and their parents worked hard, and we were very independent. That I can believe. Unlike the Democratic Party, the plantation causes you to become dependent on them and on yourself. Once you become addicted to that, they will not let you off. If you try to get off, you're attacked. You're called Uncle Tom, a sellout, the N-word, all kinds of craziness because they do not want you to leave the plantation. Peterson asked, look at this. Peterson has described Nelson Mandela as an evil person, as an evil man, and said that South Africa was better off under apartheid. So for those people who don't know what apartheid is when a government is owned by one race. South Africa was owned by the British government, and everyone that was basically in South Africa was basically all white. And it still is. But they're not apartheid. So this idiot to say that they were better off in apartheid, it's retarded. This man is uneducated. I'm telling you, he's uneducated. His views of life, his view on women are so reprehensible. It's not even funny. How can people follow this man with his ideas? I don't want to say anything about his subscribers. I mean, there might be cool people, but come on. With ideas like this takes us back 200-300 years back with the way of thinking. This is not the way we think now. Peterson said that racism does not exist and condemns the U.S. education system and the Democratic Party as lying about the country and falsely calling people racist. Peterson also denies the use of the term white supremacist, saying that he does not know what it means. He stated that Antifa people are protected while white normal people are called white supremacists. He asserted that, let me repeat that again. Peterson also derides the use of the term white supremacist, saying that he does not know what it means. He stated that Antifa people are protected while normal white people are so-called white supremacists. He asserts that Muslims in America are treated better than Christians and white people. He criticized Muslims, U.S. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, stating, "We just saw where they allowed 2 Muslims to become congresswomen, sick in our government, and that is not good. Those 2 women hate Israel and they hate America." Well, you are a woman. You have the right to go to Congress, and it's not. You have to understand. It's not that these women hate Israel. Is that there's always been a long fight between Israel and the Arab nation. They do hold they do share a land with the Palestinians, and the Palestinians want their land. The Palestinians want what's theirs. They want their state. And I understand Israel cannot give so many because Israel is surrounded by, they're the only Jewish people there. They're surrounded by Arabs. So if you give more to an Arab nation, you're making yourself small. But I believe that the Israel should give Arabs, Palestine their fair share of land. That's just me. But to say that she hates Israel, she doesn't hate Israel. Maybe he hates Israel. Like I said, he's a misogynist. Peterson warns that hatred and suspicion towards white Americans would cause the United States to become like South Africa. On July 2nd, 2018, Peterson announced that he would celebrate White History Month, and each year in July, in honor of patriotic white America. That's all I gotta say on that, because this pisses me off. Because he's a black man, bro. A black man trying to be white. A black man trying to be white. Instead of defending the black community, instead of defending, the things that, he should know. This fucker came from a plantation. He should know how it is, how hard it is. So how can you, somewhere along the line, you must have met some white person that did something good to you, and you said, fuck blacks. You are a disgrace, Mr. Peterson. The fuck's your name again? I don't remember stupid people's name. That's why I say this. Jesse Lee Peterson. Look, at the end of the day, you're a black man. At the end of the day, you're a black African man. At the end of the day, your grandparents worked hard in a plantation. And for you to talk crap about that the people should come, that slavery was a good thing because it took them out of Africa. You're degrading the work that your grandparents did, the hard work that your grandparents did, the suffering that your grandparents did. You're degrading that. And their work, in your eyes, was in vain. You, my man, Mr. Jesse Lee Peterson, should be ashamed of yourself. You should have no followers at all. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're going against your own people. If you went against your own people for the right reason, then I can understand it. But you're going against your own people for the wrong reason. For the wrong reason. Say the NAACP is like KKK. What's wrong with you? You're a 71-year-old man. Grow the fuck up.